Hello, welcome to the Last Shot podcast. We are here today under the Last Shot Media Group. Myself, Julian Serrano O'Neill, and my co-host Zachary Hiddenden. And today we have Isabel, who is going to tell us some really good stuff about a project that they're working on that will be revealed at Tribeca Festival in New York. Zachary, please take it away, my friend.
Okay. Isabel, it's nice to meet you. Isabel, I've heard that you have pulled basically quadruple duty on writing and filming this movie. So when you're in the middle of a physically demanding or emotionally raw scene, how is it for you? How do you prepare for that? Writing and directing and actually acting.
Um, I think preparation, again, like you're saying, preparation is one of the key things that did. In terms of I would say in terms of acting, the first thing that came to my mind, I think meditation, which sounds weird, but I think when all these stresses layer up, you need to be somehow able to compartmentalize these things and focus on one part of what you're doing. So when you wear all these different hats, it's a constant like switching of the hats, switching of the context and focusing on what exactly needs to be done right now. So, when I was thinking of producer logistic problems, it was a completely different part of my brain than the one that's acting at the end of the day. Um, I would say it's not necessarily something I recommend to do because it is more challenging, and I think requires you to cut short on certain parts also. Like I had less focus on certain areas because of doing all the same roles at the same time. But still,
And
an amazing team was helpful to manage everything too.
so was it like physically or mentally like taxing just to I have to write this, I have to read this, and now I gotta put myself into this role. I have to be this role, and then just just say like the stage directions and stuff like that. How did you do that?
Well, the
Knowing
good
that
thing
you're
is, oh,
oh
knowing
no
that
no
I'm
no, you're about to you're good, you're good.
Yeah, I think the good thing actually is that if you write the script, and in this case, also the script is basically very close to my own origin story. So even some of the lines were something that people had actually said to me. So a lot of times, I wrote it so extensively. I mean, there was several months. I mean, it's a really short script, but still, I spent a lot of time reviewing it. I had people look over it and critique it and then change it again. So by the time we were filming, it was basically second nature to me. Like there's no looking up and like, oh, where are we in the script at this point? Because we shot listed everything. Like I just knew everything by heart. It was more like coordinating and then activating the right beats in the right moment and having everyone do that as a joint vision together. That thankfully was helped due to having rehearsals before. Everyone was very like dedicated to take time out before so that we could train the fight scenes. We could also train the emotional beats in those because, between the adrenaline of the action, you also have to have the intensity of the dramatic moments in there. So we tried to rehearse as much as we could, also with our DP in order to, as much as we can all the shots that we wanted so that we could save the time and not get stressed, which we still did. We still got super stressed, but so.
So you mentioned your origin. So on the spark of heritage, this film is incredibly personal to you, and you're from I don't want to guess, but you're from the Philippines, right? Okay. And at one point in your life, did you realize that Filipino martial arts wasn't just physical discipline, but the perfect cinematic lens to explore your cultural identity and belonging?
That's a great question. Actually only learned about Filipino martial arts like a year before I started writing the short. It kind of to a shocking, it was kind of to me because I thought that I knew a lot about my culture and then I didn't know this big part, although I had trained martial arts before. But like I knew judo and I knew about karate and I knew about Muay Thai, but who, I don't know why I didn't know. I mean, just badly educated. It was kind of revealing because I still think as Filipinos, we kind of don't take our own culture so seriously. I also grew up with this like Western aspiration of like US or like our big idols. That's where we go for,
Yes.
and it's not in the Philippines. So I think that's why also that, very indigenous culture didn't get through to me until then. And I kind of realized that that matches the same way people see me when they see me as white passing and they idolize that instead of seeing the
Hmm.
whole other side, which is the Filipino core, where I'm like, isn't that why do we keep doing that? Why do we keep like in this post-colonial mindset and like perpetuating it over and over? And it's just, yeah, I think it clicked when I understood that about FMA.
Okay, operating the lens of this industry as, like I say, a white passing Filipino woman. So is there any struggles as a woman being in this industry, acting, you're taking all these, have you dealt with any misogyny or any trials and
Oh,
tribulations or
yeah.
obstacles?
I mean, that is a great question. I have so many stories, I bet just as much as other women have. Um, it's interesting you bring that up because I never actually linked this together, but I actually had my own Me Too moment before
Mm,
I started writing the script. And I was at the time I have like a low budget sci-fi feature that I'm working on. It's pretty cool. And I was like pitching, I got in a producer who was interested in it. And we met in person and it became into this like uncomfortable, awkward thing. And then I realized I just have to make my own thing. I'm
yeah.
just tired of, trying to get the gatekeepers to open up the doors when I can just do something smaller and then do it. So that kind of pushed me over the edge to actually do my own short because that I can actually start working on, whereas a feature or like a TV series, it's still a bit of a longer way. There's many, I mean, that's part of martial arts as well. I mean, it's still male dominated, sports in a way. So, working in stunts, working in action, there's always some kind of misogyny there. There's always, like if you, I guess there again, I look a bit more Asian than maybe like fully white passing person. That sometimes also leads to a different approach of like being sexualized or being perceived as non like cute or like just not taken seriously.
Yeah.
I think all those things, yeah, are still going to be around, and they don't really help. And that's why I wanted this to be specifically like a female-led action film because one to prove it like
Yeah.
can make exciting action. It doesn't have to be like um, because I got a lot of male stunt coordinators or men trying to tell me how to do it, and I don't have any problem with feedback at all. Like I love getting inspiration and feedback and everything. But after the like 100,000th time, sometimes you just get like you just get so frustrated and you're
It's
like,
like
can I just do
mansplaining or
my
something like
thing?
yeah.
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 So yeah, I'm really proud that it got us somewhere because I think I would have been a bit more desolate if like it didn't get into Tribeca or anywhere. So I'm just like thrilled that we have kind of a proof of concept that people say like we like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you mentioned in store coordinating and you collaborated with heavy stunt coordinators like Lauren Mary Kim and Nico Ramirez. So can you explain how the store coordination went about, how the process was, and your overall feeling? And was it easy to you? Was it hard to you? Was it easy to grasp?
I've worked in like I have stunt training, so that really helped. Never like down, and I've also did small choreographies myself, but I've never done like a 2 minute 50 beat fight scene. So it was amazing to see professionals do that
Yeah.
and bring me up to that speed. It was hard because like we would do several hours at a time where we would just try to come up with how we can tell the story in the fight. And then we
Mhm.
would do rehearsals. And at first, Nico and Lauren would do the choreography without me so that I wouldn't hold them up. But then we would more and more, I would go in and try to do it. At the same time, I was new to FMA. So I also had to kind of work on correcting my posture and having, the right the right angle for the stick. Like things like that are very delicate with FMA, and it looks bad if you don't do it. So it was a bit overwhelming. But like it was good that we put all that work in the pre-production because we did all of that in LA before we went over, and then we had a previous shooting here as well. So that was great because then we had this package that we could take with us, and that part was settled. So like at least 2 minutes of the film are already taken care of, where we know exactly what we need, and that took some time off of the shot listing at the end. But yeah, it was super challenging. In the previs, I actually didn't nail the last move yet. So it's a tornado kick at the end, and I just wasn't there yet. So we had to, so in the previs, if you compare it to the final, it's kind of cheated a bit. But one of my key things was that I didn't want to cheat anything because I didn't want to cheap out and say we have female action and then we cheat stuff. So I was like, no, we can't
Yeah.
do that. So yeah, at the end, I managed to do it, thankfully. But I had to put in the training hours with Lauren and with Nico. So I was
So
also gonna say, seeing how they work at that level, like at the previous day, we're filming, tweaking things, and then
mhm.
they were editing a reel at the same time as we were doing that to see like where are the gaps, what are we missing, what doesn't look good, what should we film differently. So that was great. I was like, we were trying to do that on set as well, but then we didn't manage to. But we had someone editing parallel on set.
Yeah.
We just didn't have the resources. So
Looking at the trailer, it's a really solid trailer. It's a good trailer. On subverting the guru trope with Malik, instead of having Nia find her footing through a traditional institutional FMA master, you wrote the character of Malik, a queer outcast who teaches her the true soul and philosophy of artists. So, why was it important for you that Nia's cultural bridge came from someone else who exists on the margins of the community?
I think that those people most of the time teach us so much more in life than the people who are proclaimed the gurus. I think that our allies, our friends are the biggest support system that we have. And that's why it's also not a romantic story. It's really just friendship. Yeah, I mean, I personally have grown so much from and through my friends and learned so much. And who are marginalized or outcasts have so much more wisdom because they've been through so much. And yeah, I just like the contrast of Nia's impatient, getter kind of with Malik's more humble and um, relaxed, kind of like, what are you even doing? So I really think there is such a nice pair and help each other. So in the future, that will come out even more. So yeah, I like the underdog stories.
I will say underdog stories really resonates with me as well. See
Mhm.
myself as an underdog from a Nigerian background.
Mhm.
Um, um, on the pressure of identity in the script, Nia faces a really painful tug of war, the jib on. Angel rejects her for not being FMA enough, while her mother Maria pressures her to conform to whitewash traditionally feminine expectations. So how did you write? How did you approach writing that specifically?
Yeah, that was hard. It's good you bring that up because I didn't want to make Angel a cliche character. So it has her own burdens to carry, which make her the way she is. She's not just being like, anti-white or anything.
Yeah,
Like she
yeah,
it was really delicate to like bring up like she's not just being, like that, but she doesn't like Nia's arrogance or
mm,
assumption that she can take up all the space she wants or doesn't have to put in the training. So it's like a mix of those things that really bring Angel to get frustrated. And then obviously she gets humiliated, so she turns up more of her fight skills, which are impressive. And yeah, but the whole Maria story is interesting. The mom is very, very, very similar to my mom. So I didn't have to make up too much different story to that because it is a very, I think, aspiration to make their daughters conform.
mm.
Um, yeah, I think that I just tried to keep it close to the heart and see if it resonates with other people. Um, and yeah, I guess that's it. We
So
actually we added the Tita scene very end, the scene with all the aunties. I don't know if people, I'm spoiling stuff, but there is a scene with all the aunties, and it's a very Filipino slash Asian situation. But maybe other cultures have the similar thing where somehow all of the family thinks they can comment on how you look or how big or skinny.
oh, it's the same thing with us African.
Like, what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same thing. From the journey to Tribeca, from launching the project on Kickstarter with the support of the, if I'm saying it right, the Goeth Institute, to heading to the Tribeca Festival. This has been an incredible journey. Back at the film now, what is the number one thing you hope audience, especially the global Filipino diaspora, take away, and everybody actually take away from Kaya?
Yeah, I mean, looking at that journey, I literally went from someone who has no idea to someone who now can show their film in Tribeca. And maybe I was just super lucky, but it's also, I'm sure it's in there. There's also luck, but it's also, I want people to believe in themselves and see like can do this. And then, it's not, I'm not downplaying the filmmaking craft. It is super hard, and there's so much to that I didn't know, where I was just totally at loss because I didn't have the training, and I didn't, and I made so many mistakes. We lost money because of me. There's like so many things that I should have known, but I also want to inspire hope in people that, if you have a passion project, then you can go for it and it will teach you so much. I mean, I can't explain how much I've grown since starting that, and scared I was even just to make this stupid video on Kickstarter. Like, I look at it now today, I'm just like, oh my God, I was so ashamed. I was so ashamed to just make that story. But someone once told me that, fear is sometimes or often it's your guiding point. It's where, through will actually bring you to somewhere else on the other side. That's
Yeah.
one of just from the journey that I want people to take from it. But from the film, I think my key story is obviously that lookism is harmful, and you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, and give everyone a shot to define themselves for you instead of from what you think you see and think they are. So,
So basically, you bet on yourself and you did it. And it's very, very inspiring to hear for future filmmakers like myself and people in my team.
go
Um,
do it.
just do it. I got one final question. So,
Mhm.
what inspires you daily just to get up and do what you love to do?
Ooh, that is hard. I mean, I think it's hard because I'm in a phase where I actually got a lot of rejections from other things, wise and stuff like that. So it's a hard time for me, even though I have this upper through Tribeca, it's still so many, if you get an accumulation of no's, it just still feels kind of, and it's
Yeah.
always like, what am I doing? Our creative industry that is super slow. But I think for me personally, I am a career changer. I did something else first, and not because I wanted to, but because I didn't have any other options. So I had a scholarship for law, so I did that initially till I could pay my own way. And what motivates me every day is basically knowing that I tried the other way. I tried to not do this and I couldn't because I
Yeah.
was so unhappy for years. So I'm like, I'm every time I'm unhappy about, struggles, whatever, I'm just like, well, it's still the life that I couldn't live without.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's very beautifully put. Um,
have
yes.
I have a question for you. There was one message that you can give to the folks that will see your project. If there was one thing that you wanted them to take away from this project,
One thing they would take away from watching the film.
yeah, or something, or a message you would like them to take away.
I think it's what we said earlier. It's you can do it. There's always a way for you to do it. Like, I think that's the message I would like people to take away.
You can do it. Yes.
And
Yes.
do it.
Just do it. You can do it. Yes.
I knew it sounds so cliche, but in the end, I think that's always what picks me up again, is somehow this, yeah, it's just a phrase in my head that keeps coming back, and it's like, no, it's okay, you can do it. Just keep going.
okay.
I hope that was, it feels like Julian is like this Wizard of Oz character. And now, like, did I pass the test? Because he's quiet now.
No, that's awesome. That's hilarious. One more. I have one more for you. How do you feel about going to Tribeca?
Oh my God, I don't know.
Oh,
Everyone
yes.
asks that, but I've never been, so how would I know? I'm just nervous. I'm basically nervous to be on the red carpet, nervous that I'll make a weird, you know, face when I'm on my photos on Getty. Like, I don't know. It's the first time as a like director producer, so I have no idea like how people approach me differently or how it all falls out, because I've been like to Cannes as an actor, and I know like as actors on these festivals we're often kind of like shushed away, like bothering me, I'm working. So now being a director there will be interesting. It feels different to talk to people and other creatives about our work. And yeah, I'm just hoping to get more people on board for the feature. I think that's my main goal.
Honestly, I was gonna wrap it up, but when you just mentioned difference between actors and directors when it comes to festivals like this, you mentioned that you basically could speak your mind creatively to other creatives, and I feel like that's very important because nobody wants to do the thing they love to do and not talk about it at all. So
Yes, and it's also the respect for the work that they're doing, I think. Because now that like I've been in the same boat as others where you work really hard to create your project and get it going, and then people come up and they just want to be a part without, there's no connection or anything. So I think that just teaches me a lot as an actor too, to be like, okay, so much work going into these projects. It's insane.
okay, that sounds very, very, very okay. Okay, so it's going to be at the Tribeca Festival. When are you going to be at the Tribeca Festival? Are you going to be the whole week from the 3rd to the 14th, or?
Our premiere is on June 4th, and then we have screenings on the 11th and the 13th.
Okay. We'll be at Tribeca from the 11th to the 14th,
Okay.
and I will make sure I will catch the screenings.
Great.
It was a pleasure doing this interview with you. I had a very, 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 very great conversation, and it was a good interview. Everybody on the Last Shot podcast, check out Kaya. When is the official release date for Kaya?
June 4th.
June 4th for everyone.
I mean, it's going to be like from then on, but yeah.
Okay. So
it's not going to be released yet on like, distributors or streaming or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I wanted to let people know that your art is out there. Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Zachary Henneden and Isabel Lamers.
Mm-hmm.
Lamers, and we just did an interview for Kaya. Please check it out. Please check out the movie whenever you get the chance to check it out. Whenever you get the opportunity to check it out, whatever platform it comes out to, check it out.
Thanks, Zachary.
All right, and I just stopped right now.
It's always so funny, like the aftermath. Just waiting.
I know.
It's still going.
Just waiting for it to stop. It's still going, Jules.
Yeah, hold on.
I think usually it will